Hi guys, thanks for dropping by. Hope it's not too hot for you going on over there. But here right now we're going to do some comedy. Okay, so this is the Would I Lie to You stuff. We're going to do Ian with Lee Mack, Carol, Kirkwood, and David Doherty. So you know, well, if you've seen these clips before, you know what they are. A guy comes out and everybody's got their own little story on how they know the guy, and we get to decide which one's telling the truth. Always tons of fun. So we're going to get started, but first, I got to bring up the subscription. Subscribe to my channel if you want to. Like the video, turn on your notifications, and share the video. So let's get going.
Welcome this week's special guest, Ian.
Ian.
So, Carol, what is Ian to you?
Well, this is Ian, and to frighten a teacher, we once hid a ram inside a classroom cupboard.
Lee, how do you know Ian?
This is Ian. He is the supermarket delivery driver who accidentally trapped me in the back of his van and drove me to his next drop-off point.
And finally, David, what's your relationship with Ian?
This is Ian. He is a skydiver who got blown off course and almost knocked me off my bike.
Right, there we have it. Carol's sheep prankster, Lee's accidental abductor, or David's diverted skydiver. David Mitchell and team, where are you going to begin?
Right, well, Carol, let's start with the ram in the cupboard.
Oh, the old Dave Mitchell Chatham line. Yeah.
Why did you put a ram in a cupboard?
Well, Ian and I went to school together in the Highlands, and often you would see the sheep and the rams just, meandering into the school grounds.
Yeah.
And this particular day, one came in.
So the ram wanders into the school grounds?
Yes.
And you think, oh, that's fine, it'll be quite docile, I dare say it'll agree to get into a cupboard.
Well, what happened was the teacher was late. He was quite often late, and we were in a wee porta cabin out the back.
Are you saying
of
the teacher was a drinker?
No.
Okay.
But anyway, he was late, so we thought it'd be quite funny, because he was late, just to put this ram in his cupboard so that when he came in, the ram would be mad and come rampaging out.
Does Ian look like the kind of man that would grab a ram and drag it into a cupboard?
Yeah, he does.
For a laugh. He does. He looks like a kind of a devil. And I think Carol, being attractive and beautiful, would have done that whole, oh, let's just put a ram in the cupboard. And Ian would be like, oh, I'll show you how to put a ram in the cupboard.
So when the teacher eventually arrived, how long was it before he went to his cupboard for a little look at his possessions? And what happened?
It would have been about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And, of course, we were all sniggering in the class. He opened the door. This angry ram came rampaging right out at him.
Is that where the word rampaging comes from?
Well, that's when you're trying to contact a ram in the 1980s. Who would you like to quiz next?
David, could you describe how Ian, was it nearly hit you?
Yeah, skydiving. I mean, this goes back to '92, and my family have always been involved in the Scouts of Ireland, and so the big jamboree was in Wicklow, which is just outside of Dublin, and I was on a tandem bicycle with my aunt, who's one of the heads of Scouting Ireland, and we were heading towards the jamboree, and they were launching a comic book character to remind kids not to start fires in forests. And he was called Fire Dog, and his catchphrase was, don't start a fire, woof. And for the launch, they decided in the jamboree they were going to parachute Fire Dog into the middle of the jamboree, and we were on the tandem heading towards it with our little scouty ties on.
Can I just check? Fire Dog, he says, don't start a fire, woof. Is it don't start a fire, woof, or don't start a fire, woof? Which one is it? I want to know. I'm trying to genuinely know which is the campaign.
was actually quite easily solved immediately with a demonstration. Because my understanding of skydivers is they have a really good core muscle. So essentially, if we do that bit from Dirty Dancing... where
You
lift
actually
me
didn't
up-
get any taller when you stood up. That was the oddest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anyone stand up and remain the same height. Yeah. It's shocking.
If I just run towards you, like and you just lift me up, like the end, then you'll be a skydiver. And if you don't do it, I'll be really hurt and you're dead. So...
Likewise, in a minute, I'm going to ask you to shut me in the back of a van.
I was just going to say...
So what are you planning to do?
I'm seeing whether or not he looks frightened by the prospect of me running towards him, and he's got to lift me
He
up.
does look a bit frightened, yeah.
Rob also looks frightened.
What if the end of my story is that, and then he whacked against the wall, his legs shot off, and he had to have legs made of glass?
That's the end of your story. No, we're back to plan A. How far away from the jamboree were you at the point of impact?
Well,
Sorry, near impact.
He had just missed the landing area by a few fathoms. And
Sorry, it was an aqua jamboree.
we swerved, we avoided him. He went into a hedge and we pulled him out. I was 14 or 15 at the time. And my aunt and Ian got talking. And that is why it's nice to have my Uncle Ian on the show.
That was a hell of a landing.
That was a bombshell.
Your aunt met her husband when he nearly hit her dressed as a dog.
Right, what about Lee?
So, Lee, how did you accidentally get shut in his van? What happened?
As you will know, that when the man who comes from the supermarket delivers your food, he delivers them in like a plastic box. Yeah? So he leaves the box and he goes into the kitchen and he drops off the food. And what I decided to do is that I'll help, right? He brings the last box. I said, is that it? He said, yes, this is your last lot. Puts the thing, gets the bags, goes into the kitchen. Mr. Nice here picks the nice plastic things up and takes them to his van.
Oh, God.
So I go into the...
It's so gross.
It's like, this is like the start. This is like the start of an episode of Casualty, isn't it? So I go in, and as I put them in, I look to my left, and something catches my attention.
A lamppost.
No.
And it's snowing.
No.
There's a fawn.
No. A little thing catches my eyes. Believe it or not,
Someone has locked a ram in the back of the van.
It was, believe it or not, the thing that caught my eye...
I don't believe it, by the way.
...was a slightly ripped box of Cocoa Pops. And I thought, just for a minute, I thought, as Ian just had a little bit of a, like I would do, I'll have a little snack en route. So I just walk over to it. Now, as I walk over to it, it's only a couple of steps, I'm now hidden behind a box
Oh, you are kidding me.
food. You know, the boxes of food that haven't yet been delivered. And at that moment, I hear the noise of the doors shutting and the little handle turning.
So why didn't you call out?
I did.
What, and he didn't hear you?
No.
What, over the noise of a van engine?
No,
It's
not just
very
the van,
loud.
the noise of Howard Jones on Magic FM. It was blasting.
Why didn't you-
try? Yeah, I'm going, help!
Why
And
didn't
he's
you
going,
bang on the
"What is
panel?"
up anyway? Anybody, anyway.
What was the next?
What was it like?
I mean, it might not be true, but God, it was dramatic.
So we do need an answer. Is Ian Carol's sheep prankster,
Okay.
Lee's accidental abductor, or David's diverted skydiver?
Okay. I guess the first lady's story, makes the most sense. But I don't know. That seems like something, possible. Lee Mack, I don't think it was Lee Mack. It was a funny story, but I don't think it was him. The guy at the end, I don't know his name. What's his name? David O'Doherty? I don't know. The guy, if he is married to his mother, doesn't look much older than him. I don't know. I'm going to say the first lady. What was her name? Carol Kirkwood. I'm going to say it's her with the ram in the cupboard. Let's go.
The key thing is I don't want to be fooled by David O'Doherty. That's the key. Look at him. Look at that.
Do you remember, you know, in the brownies, you had the brownie promise and all of that. So do you remember anything from your scouting days, your promise or anything?
It's different in Ireland. The Scouts don't have anything that you would possibly remember.
No promises, no value system, other than if you see a dog go into a hedge, you marry it.
I would say Carol.
I think it's
You say
David.
Carol?
I think it's David.
You say Carol, you say David. I think it's David.
Yeah.
So you're
So
going
we're
there
gonna go
for...
I said the
with
woman,
David.
but
Okay.
this guy, he
Ian,
married it.
Would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Ian. Carol and I frightened the teacher by hiding a ram in the classroom cupboard.
Lee, how do you know Ian?
This is Ian. He is my supermarket delivery driver who accidentally got... I can't remember. I just want you to know this is absolutely true. Right? But they do insist that we say it exactly the way it happened.
So here we go.
Right. This is David. No, what's your name?
Lee, perhaps you'd like to explain how you know Ian.
Never met him. This is Ian. Right.
Lee,
This is Ian.
This is Ian. Listen, I think it's fair to say the opposition have got it down to 50-50.
so, Lee, how do you know Ian?
This is Ian. Ian, do me a favour, could you sellotape that to your face? Right. This is Ian. He is the supermarket delivery driver who accidentally trapped me in the back of his van and drove me to his next drop-off point.
Right. And finally, David, what is Lee to you? Not Lee, sorry.
Okay, so that was This Is My featuring Ian with Lee Mack, Carol Kirkwood, and David Doherty and Ian. I was pretty sure it was a woman. Her story was kind of, well, I don't want to say boring, but it was, you know, something that probably happens. Yeah, I could see that happening. That didn't look so far-fetched or, you know, possibly ridiculous. The one there, what was his name? His name was David. Oh, it's O'Doherty. I've been saying Doherty, I think. David O'Doherty. His story seemed a little out there, you know, and then the guy married his mother. Yeah, sometimes it's these ridiculous stories that are true. Lee Mack, I didn't really think it was Lee Mack. So that wasn't bad, and then we got the extra clips there, and that proved that nobody thought it was Lee Mack. Yeah, he couldn't get his lines straight or remember what he was doing, and that was a pretty funny little bonus. So thanks for watching. Hope you find some way to cool down, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a nice day.